Jeff Howe's an NFL insider for The Athletic, covered the Patriots for years. So I theorize that if you do something poorly as a business, sometimes you just have to go buy it. And the Patriots do special teams well, defense well, culture, toughness. They don't do offensive skill well. Last 10 receivers they've drafted, nobody's a star. You could argue nobody's a 2. Go buy dynamic. Lamar Jackson reportedly is over the Ravens. They went and got Cam. Lamar's better than Cam. It's not close at this point. Would they consider it in your opinion?
No, I don't think they're going to, and I was pretty much told as much. Now, with the caveat that 3 years ago I was also told they were not going to go get Cam Newton, and then Cam Newton slashed his price by a considerable percentage. Difference in the stage of their career that Cam Newton was in 2020 and Lamar Jackson is in now. I don't anticipate Lamar to slash his price to the point where the Patriots would all of a sudden get in on this thing. So I see what you're saying about, all right, if you can't draft something well or if you need something, absolutely go buy it. But that hasn't been the case of receiver either. I mean, they've whiffed on basically every receiver they've tried to take since 2009 with Julian Edelman, but even he was about a 4-year project. Right. So this is going on a decade plus. You look at 2019 when they got N'Keal Harry, they took him over Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf. There was a chance last offseason when they could have gone out and bought A.J. Brown, and they didn't do it. So there have been opportunities to go after those high-priced guys, whether it's in free agency or a trade, and they haven't done that yet, and I don't anticipate that they're going to change their philosophy with Lamar Jackson.
Pro Football Talk says, put pressure, Jets. Aaron, put pressure on the Packers. What do you think? What do your sources tell you? Jeff Howe joining us. What's holding it up?
Everybody from the team side is so scared to basically piss off somebody else involved in these negotiations that you're just not hearing a lot of details. So you see Aaron Rodgers come out and finally tell his side of it on the McAfee show. And I thought that was enough to put pressure on everybody to kind of come together. I would be shocked if this thing isn't done by draft time. And I don't know what offers on the table. I don't know what the Packers are looking for, what it's going to take for these two sides to kind of figure this thing out. For the time being, I mean, really until the offseason workout program starts in the third-ish week of April, there's not a whole lot of urgency for each side, the Jets and the Packers, can wait for the other one to blink to kind of get this thing done. It's going to get done. Aaron Rodgers has basically put all his cards on the table. It has to get done. It's just I have no idea where the middle ground is because nobody wants to talk.
Yeah. Hey, so 11 different people, the owner, his wife, the GM, the coach, going to see CJ Stroud's pro day for the Panthers. Now, I would theorize, Jeff, what they're doing is they're letting it known we're bringing the organization, put a little pressure on CJ. Let's see how he performs at pro day with a little pressure. The betting market has CJ Stroud number 1. When it comes to the betting market, they are usually pretty good on this. What are you hearing? What is your takeaway?
Well, I still think the top 3 guys and maybe Anthony Richardson are still in play. I mean, everybody loves Bryce Young, but everybody's kind of scared of the size and what's his career longevity going to be. CJ Stroud gives you everything that you want. He's smooth. He's a great pocket passer. He's got tremendous upside physically, all put together. Will Levis, I think, is still possibly in play. I mean, I know that there is some angst over his performance last year compared to a year before, but you look at the amount of people that he lost around him in terms of skill position, in terms of losing offensive coordinator Liam Cohen for a year when he went back to the Rams. You saw his play kind of tail off, but I'm telling you that the people in the NFL still love Will Levis. So I think those 3 guys are still in play. Anthony Richardson's more of a wild card. But this next week is going to be big because you got all these guys' pro days on display.
Yep. So there's, listen, I was told a month ago from a really good source that the Rams, McVay's like, okay, I'll come back, but we're spending money on offense. And so Bobby Wagner gone, Floyd gone, Jalen gone. They want draft capital, and they're going to spend money on offense. He's tired of watching his peers, Kyle Shanahan, Zach Taylor, have all these weapons. And Andy Reid, he's like, hey, I need weapons. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to go down with offense. There's been some reports out there that they'd like to redo the Stafford deal, and there's a little friction on that they can't rebuild certain things. They got dead cap money unless they can rework the Stafford deal. What is your takeaway on McVay, the Rams, Stafford? they got a lot of picks, no first pick, but I think they have 10 or 11 overall. Where are they with Stafford, McVay right now, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think McVay would have come back to this situation if he wasn't in the understanding frame of mind that this is going to be a multi-year rebuild, because everything crashed down a whole lot faster last year than anybody ever could have anticipated it doing. Stafford has the elbow issues that are going to linger, I would assume, for the rest of his career. At least that's to my understanding. Now, it's not something that I don't think he can play through or anything along those lines, but you look at the moves that they've made. They're shedding cap. They're shedding salary. They're trying to get some of that capital back in the draft to rebuild this thing organically, because the model that they had, when you go all in the way that the Rams did and you get the Super Bowl, it was worth it. But when it all of a sudden crumbles, I mean, it crashes a whole lot faster than you can be able to rebuild it back. So this is going to be a long commitment. And McVay is a smart guy, and he knows how to stay present. He knows what he wants in terms of his plan. When he was thinking about his future after last season, going into this offseason and taking his time, he wasn't looking at this saying, oh, you know what, all of a sudden I have a magic wand and this thing is going to get turned around real quickly. I mean, you have to be practical looking at this roster and the way that they went after it for a few years, and understand that you have to rebuild the offensive line. You have to take away these high-priced guys and replenish them with younger, better, or not necessarily better, but younger players who are cheaper and can develop in your system. I would be stunned if all of a sudden they got back into a playoff caliber team, and I think that they have to be practical about that.
By the way, DeAndre Hopkins is one of those guys out there for the taking. He's one of the great catch radius guys. He's just very productive. Top 5 guy to me. Your inkling on where he leans or where he goes?
It's a hard market to read, because everybody likes the player, of course. I mean, you'd be foolish not to, just how outstanding he is on Sundays every week after week after week. But I can't get a feel for the market. Everybody I'm asking, hey, what are you hearing on the price point? And it's like, oh, well, it's still a little too high. And that high point that everybody with these teams is speaking of is the salary, the trade. You got to wonder, what are you getting off the field? Is he going to fit with your locker room? So there's a lot here. There are people who like the player, like I was saying, but I can't get a feel for how many teams really want to go all in for him. And I think that that's why there were the early calls, and you're not seeing anything come to fruition right now. I would see the Browns as a team that still clearly needs a receiver, and I think that they're probably interested to an extent, but this is going to be a slow-playing market, at least from what I've heard over the last few days.
Yeah, I don't think New England's a bad spot. Again, they
called early. I don't think anything is close, and I think something substantial would have to change for them to pull the trigger on that kind of deal.
Insider The Athletic. Subscribe. It's good stuff. Jeff Howe, good to see you again, Jeff. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.